Hey guys, it's Sasha. The UK government has just announced that they're planning to launch a brand new cryptocurrency, and it is just such an incredibly stupid idea that I thought I really have to go and talk about it. Now, the Bank of England and the UK Treasury are setting up a new team called the Central Bank Digital Currency Task Force, and their job is going to be to figure out how to launch this new digital currency. Here is what they are planning to do. Coordinate exploration of the objectives, use cases, opportunities and risks of a potential UK CBDC. What a load of waffle. Guide evaluation of the design features the CBDC must display to achieve our goals. Support a rigorous, coherent and comprehensive assessment of the overall case for a UK CBDC. Monitor international CBDC developments to ensure the UK remains at the forefront of global innovation. Remains being an interesting word given that they haven't even started yet. But anyway, alongside this, they are also introducing two completely pointless new entities. The CBDC Engagement Forum, which is a place for non-tech people from the government and their buddies to go and talk about the project. And then the CBDC Technology Forum, which is a place for, I'm quoting, a range of financial institutions, academic, fintechs, infrastructure providers and technology firms to provide their opinions. It'll be quite interesting to see how many of these people actually really understand how cryptocurrency works in order to be providing this advice. Now, right at the end of the announcement, they said that the Deputy Governor for Financial Stability, John Cunliffe, will lead this project. And this is where the first problem lies. You see, I have nothing against John. I don't know the guy. He must be incredibly good, but the person in charge of this entire thing has worked for the government at least since 1990, based on the official biography of the Bank of England website, and through various roles in the Treasury, Bank of England, and even a political representative of the UK to the European Union. He has had literally nothing to do whatsoever with digital currency ever, and he has had pretty much literally zero actual experience in the world of finance, in the world of banking, outside of working for regulatory bodies. Now let me put that aside and let me talk about the substance of what the UK government is trying to achieve. In the press release, the Bank of England says a CBDC would be a new form of digital money issued by the Bank of England and for use by households and businesses. It would exist alongside cash and bank deposits rather than replacing them. So the idea is to create a digital currency that is controlled by the government, whose supply is entirely controlled by the Bank of England and whose value is predicated and based on their monetary policy. This is literally the exact opposite of why currencies like Bitcoin and other digital currencies are growing in popularity and are gaining adoption. This entire exercise is a giant, hands-on, in-your-face lesson of how a government is trying to get in on things that are perceived to be cool without having spent even 2 minutes actually thinking it through. Other than being a digital currency, what practical benefit does this new CBDC thing have over just using regular, normal, good old British pounds? Most of my transactions in British pounds are done digitally. And see, the thing is, the use of classic technology, which uses just regular databases and API calls, works perfectly fine. It's instantaneous. It delivers to all of my needs and objectives. I have absolutely no issues with it. There is nothing with it that I sit there thinking, I wish it was working via a slightly different mechanism, because other than the mechanism, there is no difference between what they are proposing and just the normal regular British pounds as they are. Here are some of the reasons why people normally think that cryptocurrency is going to be a really big thing in the future. Number one, it is decentralized. Nobody controls it after the initial spec is put together. And guess what? In this case, that will not apply. Next, every transaction is fully transparent on the blockchain. Will the government literally apply this to all of the payments on a fully distributed ledger that anyone can go and have access to? I really doubt it. Number three, at the same time as the previous one, it is also incredibly private. There is no personal information associated with your accounts, associated with your wallets. That information is not directly shared with the government or with tax authorities. And that, again, I probably think is not something that the government and the tax authorities are trying to achieve here. And last, it is deflationary in nature. This is the exact opposite of what the governments are going to be trying to do with traditional currency systems, and it literally does not help when the level of debt of the UK government as it stands is huge, like it has become over the last 12 months. This is literally a completely pointless dumb exercise. So the government will set up this new task force and all the adjoining teams of people. These people are going to spend a couple of years attending many meetings, having committees and subcommittees, so that they can go and discuss important things and present PowerPoint slides to each other. This whole exercise is going to cost a huge amount of money. A lot of reports are going to be produced that absolutely nobody will ever read. Many big consultancies will win huge public tenders based in no way whatsoever on their personal relationships with people in the government or the Bank of England to complete huge pieces of research. And at the end, the most likely outcome is that nothing will happen. But if they decide to actually launch this new cryptocurrency, it will have literally zero difference to the currency system that we already have. In fact, it will be exactly the same, except for the mechanics behind the scenes of how the transactions actually complete will work in a slightly different way. But that's it. It will still be controlled by the government. It will still be inflationary and subject to quantitative easing. It will still be affected by public borrowing and the needs of the government at the time. It will still have to have compulsory data submitted for the use of it. It will still be subject to transaction fees, taxation, and everything else like that. In fact, in the whole report, I didn't see any mention at all of what the actual benefit of using this will be. In the same report, the Bank of England also says that they haven't yet made a decision on whether they introduce the CBDC in the UK, and this task force and all the work that's going to emanate from it will determine that path. But the government has just borrowed money at the fastest rate in modern history over the last 12 months, and taxes are going to have to go up, as hundreds of thousands of businesses are going out of business as I am making this video, and millions are potentially losing their jobs as a result of the fact that the government loans are starting to have to be repaid, and VAT deferred repayments are starting to have to be repaid by businesses that have not had any revenue for 12 months. These are likely to be the last straw for too many of these businesses. You'd think that there's more important things for the Bank of England and the government to actually focus their attention on. You would think that maybe focusing on a task force to address the issues that I just outlined with businesses and with people's jobs and with stability of the economic system following the unprecedented 12 months that we've just had, you think that would be where you would set up new task forces. You think that's where you would put people to work on. You think that's where you'd put all your money. So far, absolutely no extension on the interruption loans has been provided. There is zero help offered to businesses who have borrowed money at a point when it was meant to cover just a few weeks period of closure, over a year ago. But hey, cryptocurrency sounds so cool, and it's going to make Rishi Sunak sound like a really progressive guy, which is super useful for, somebody who might have future political objectives to fulfill. Nothing like furthering your political ambitions instead of focusing your attention on thinking how to help the millions of people who were excluded by the government from any form of financial support over the last year, or helping people whose livelihoods are being destroyed right now. Maybe, just maybe, it would be a little smarter to actually focus on the important things instead of thinking how to line your pockets and instead of making yourself sound cool in front of people who don't understand any better.